Hi guys, it's Susie and Addison, and I've had a lot of people ask me for some stretching exercises. All right, we've all been sitting a lot more than normal right now, and that really creates tight hip flexors. So you can imagine when you're sitting, like if I'm sitting in a chair, that this area here in the front of my body is folded tight all the time. So I want to work on a couple hip flexor stretches and some other stretches as well. But I think it's really important to stretch your hip flexors as much as you can right now. Okay, and if anybody has some questions on it, you can email me or text me at info@completepilatesfitness.com, or you can find the studio number. You can send me a text message there from our website. All right, so we're going to start on your back, and you need a couple things. You can use either a rolled up mat like this, like that. So I have two mats rolled up together, or like a bolster or a foam roller, and a TheraBand if you have one. You can also do the stretches if you don't have that. You can still do them without it, but you'll get a deeper stretch if you can use some of those tools. All right, so you're going to start on your back. The first stretch I'm doing, I'm going to pull my knee towards my chest. So I'm going to use the mat rolled up, and Addison's going to use the TheraBand. So you're going to line it up right up against where you're sitting down, and then gently roll down onto your back. And you want to have the roller like right underneath your pelvis. Okay, and now you're going to slowly bring your legs right up towards your chest, kind of give yourself a hug. So right now I'm nice and round. I can kind of feel the roller or the mat like pulling my knees towards my chest. And then from here, you're going to take one leg straight up, all the way down. So if you can, you want to try to get that foot reaching towards the floor. Your leg might be here. You might need to bend it a little bit. And the other knee is just relaxed towards your chest. If you have a knee issue, just grab underneath the back of your leg. All right, otherwise you can pull it in towards your chest here. So I'm stretching the hip flexor of my straight leg right there. Good, so you just want to hold that. We're going to stay there for about 30 to 44 seconds. That's like the optimum time. And if you look at Addison down here, she's doing a good job. So she's tucking her pelvis under here. So I'm trying to create as much space in the front of my leg. And then gravity is pulling her leg down like that. And so the longer she reaches her leg, the more stretch she's going to feel here. Now, after you've held it there, go ahead and the same leg that's out, I want you to reach that arm all the way back. Good. So now we're opening up the shoulder and the chest, and you're still keeping everything nice and square. All right? Okay, so let's come in and then change legs. So bring both legs in, so you're in that position, and then you'll take the other leg straight out, stretching it nice and long. Good. So you might have to ease into this stretch, right? So your foot might not get down right away, but always think of lengthening the front of your leg. So let gravity just kind of pull it down. I'll show you. It's kind of hard to see with the black. But what I don't want to see is try not to arch so that there's space here. You want to be flat. So the more you can roll this pelvis under, then you're going to get more of a stretch. I'll show you on this side. All right, so don't arch over, but you might have to inch yourself back. So pull down here and tuck your pelvis under, and then allow that hip to really open up, okay? And then you'll take the arm back. So same arm as leg. Addison's on the other side now. And you want to keep both shoulders square. Good, so I'm just opening up here. It's not about how close this leg is towards you, but if you pull it a little bit more, then you'll find that you get a deeper stretch here because that leg wants to come off, but gravity is pulling it down. So really think of tucking your pelvis, tightening your glute, and stretching the front of that leg. Good. So holding there, just let your abs fall in. Try to keep your shoulders down. Don't pull up like this. Just let gravity pull everything down. Good. All right. So after that, we're going to go ahead and take that away. And then you'll grab your TheraBand, if you have one. And we're going to do a 3-way hamstring stretch. So you'll put your foot up in the TheraBand, or you can use a belt if you don't have one, or some sort of strap. Or even if you don't have that, just use your hand. All right? Now, a lot of people bend the bottom leg. I think that's cheating. So try to straighten your leg. Because once again, you're stretching the front of your hip flexor, right? So you might notice that your leg goes lower if your leg is straight. That's a true hamstring stretch. So when I'm here, we have 3 positions. The first position is going straight towards my nose, all right? And I want you to try to do this with your knees as straight as you can, all right? So you're pulling. Not everybody's going to look like Addison. Most people are going to be like this, but just keep stretching, Addison. That gives people a goal, all right? So you're going to, as you're stretching here, please try to keep your elbows down. What happens is if I'm up here, then now I'm tensing all of this. So just drop those shoulders, pull your elbows right down onto the mat. So again, if I don't have a strap, I'm just going to pull with my hands straight towards me. Good. All right, the second position, I'm going to open it out a little bit to the side. So now I'm pulling it towards my outside shoulder, the same leg and shoulder. Not here, but just here, right in line with my shoulder. So it's not open very much. So I'm opening it towards my shoulder right here. As you're here, really think of reaching the back of the leg. This second stretch should feel actually pretty good. It's better than the next one. All right, so you're holding here. If you can use your hand, pulling it here, right? If you feel it in your back, then go ahead and bend that leg, or bend this one a little bit. Okay, the third one. Now we're going to take it across just slightly to the opposite shoulder. All right, so now we're going to the opposite shoulder. This one is pulling this way. If you feel burning in the back of your knee, I want you to bend it a little bit, or you can change the position of your foot, either this way or this way, and it kind of helps you. Eventually, you should start feeling it here. Try to relax that hip flexor here, and then just let the band or your hands give that stretch. So I'm relaxing my leg, letting something else work instead of working my quad, okay? And again, if you can, just really lengthen that bottom leg, all right? Good, and then let's go ahead and change legs. I'm going to show you what it looks like on Addison, so you can see back here. Go ahead and change legs, Addison. So the first stretch she's doing is coming straight towards her nose, all right? Hips are square, and this leg is reaching down nice and long, okay? And so she's pulling straight here. You want to take some nice deep breaths, all right? Try to relax your shoulders. Good. That breathing is going to help the blood flow and help you stretch a little bit further. And you'll find that at about 30 seconds, the muscle starts to give away a little bit, and then you can stretch a little bit further. So you really want to try to get into that position where your body relaxes for a second and you can take a deeper stretch. So usually it's about 30 to 45 seconds. All right? Good. So then the second position, you just open it slightly to the side. So now she's taking it towards her outside shoulder. All right? So she's opening it just a little bit, not to the floor. This is still a stretch for your hamstring, not your hip. Okay? So she's going to hold it here. Really think of stretching through your leg all the way back, keeping your hips totally square. All right? So both hip bones are down on the mat. Good. All right, and then the third position, she's going to take it across here just to the opposite shoulder. Both butt cheeks should stay on the mat. right? So don't let your hip roll up. And if you feel burning in the back of your knee, just bend it a tiny bit. Okay? So we're still reaching here, going towards that opposite side, right? And if you don't have a TheraBand, just pull on the back of your leg to give yourself that nice long stretch. Good. So go ahead and just stay there for a second longer. You're doing great, Addison. Okay, so now go ahead and put your TheraBand down. We're going to do a figure 4. So this is for your piriformis, that nerve that runs underneath your glute. So go ahead and bend your knees, and then you're going to cross one ankle over your knee. I like to flex the foot because that protects this knee. And then from here, we're going to pull this in towards your chest. So if you have a knee issue, grab underneath. And I'm reaching my hands right straight through and then lace underneath and then pull. Otherwise, you can grab up on top if you need more resistance. This can also be done against the wall. If you don't have somebody to push on you and you feel like you really want to pull that knee in more, you're going to scooch up next to the wall with your foot on the wall. And then as you slide your foot down the wall, it will push you in like that. Just where it feels good. So same thing, you want to let your shoulders drop down. Good, and think about you bending your elbows to pull here instead of pulling with your shoulders. Good. Your hips are staying square. You're going to take nice deep breaths here. All right, again, 30 to 44 seconds. Good. Drop your abs down. Don't push away. This is a different stretch. That's for your hip. This, I actually want you to pull in. And you can even roll your tailbone up a little bit. Your knee is pulling towards you. All right? Don't push away. Okay, good. Let's change legs. So, to do the other side, you're going to cross your ankle over your knee. You're going to take the leg up, and then I reach my hands inside. So, if you look this way, I'm reaching in here, like this. So I'm pulling this way. Reach in, and then pull towards you. Good, like that. Drop your stomach down. Good. So I'll show you on Addison. If you are up against the wall, so say I'm the wall, right? She would have her foot here against the wall. And then as she slides her foot down, you can see that it pushes more towards her chest. Good, so we're holding here, keeping your abs drop down. Try not to push your stomach out. You can roll your tailbone up a little bit. Good, taking that nice stretch there. Perfect. Okay, we're going to go ahead and roll all the way to seated. You're going to sit up, and then we're going to do a butterfly stretch here. So you've got the bottom of your feet together, good, and then we're just relaxing forward here. So when I'm stretching, I'm letting gravity, the weight of my body, gravity pulling me down, that's what's helping stretch. So some people might feel, I feel most of this in the back of my hip, but you might feel a little bit in the inner thigh as well. Okay, those are both areas that we really need to stretch, especially as much sitting as we've been doing, I don't know, on social media, watching Netflix. Hopefully everybody's getting out and getting some movement. You can do my bar class or some of my other videos on YouTube. All right, so we're just taking a nice stretch here. Your legs might look like this. That is totally acceptable and fine. Every body is different. So if it feels like you can actually push down a little bit with your elbows. So push those legs away if you can. All right. So again, we're taking a nice stretch here. My feet can be out here, or you can pull them in. The more you pull them in, the more you're going to feel an inner thigh stretch there. All right. Still keep your stomach in nice and tight. All right. After you've held this, we're going to take the legs out to a straddle. So you're going to bring your legs out to the side like that. Good. So some people, your range is bigger. You might be here. You might need to bend your knees a little bit. And then from here, we're just gonna stretch forward. I want you to feel a stretch in your inner thighs here. All right? So just wherever you can go. And I would love if you can really try to keep a flat back. Okay, so try not to round like this, but really just think of leaning forward. So from the side, I'm gonna look like this. Kicker. Try to keep your back nice and flat. Okay, just like that. All right, so now we're gonna take it a little bit to the side. I'd like it, if you can, to keep your legs out in this position and lean over one leg. If it's too much pressure, just go ahead and bend that knee. All right, and then we're gonna lean here over the side. So you'll feel more of an inner thigh stretch. Be careful, don't let your knee roll in, but keep that hip bone down. So where I was sitting before in my butterfly stretch with both my butt cheeks down, I wanna keep that hip down and then stretch forward. All right, let's take it to the other side. So again, I'm in this position with my leg out, one knee bent, both hips down. And then you're just gonna lean over to the other side. Good, take a nice stretch there. Good, try to flatten your back, keep that hip down, reaching, get this nice inner thigh stretch. Good. Or if you can, you'll have both legs out like Addison, stretching forward over your leg. Good. All right, we're gonna come in and do a mermaid stretch. So we do this on the reformer and the chair and the barrel. It's a great stretch for the side of your body. All right, so when things are tight, they tend to pull in other areas. So either in your back or your knee. So we're gonna take a nice mermaid stretch here. So you'll bend one knee in front, and then the other leg's gonna come behind you. Good. Now I don't want you to feel too much pressure in your knee. So if you need to have it out like this or wherever it feels comfortable, but you wanna try to push that hip down. Now from here, we're gonna take a nice stretch away. So I'm putting my elbow on the mat, and here, as I'm reaching, you wanna think of lifting your rib cage up towards the ceiling. So almost like a rainbow, if you imagine your body, like making this rainbow shape. So I'm pushing that way with my hip. Good, and then you're gonna take a nice long stretch here. Good, it should feel like a big stretch here. You can also do this sitting on a chair with your legs just in front. Or if you feel too much pressure in your knee, just sit cross-legged like this and then reach over like that. You'll feel the same stretch. Good, so we're staying nice and flat. If you do not have osteoporosis or any sort of back issue, you can slowly, gently rotate and reach. Okay, so now I'm gonna get more of a stretch, reaching my hand down to the floor. If you have osteoporosis, please don't do this. No twisting, okay? Just take this stretch nice and flat. I feel it. I'm sure you guys feel it too. Okay, good. Let's come up and do the other side. So you can either take the leg behind you and take this nice stretch. I'm coming onto my forearm, all right? So I'm reaching up here. Keep your elbow nice in line with your shoulder. Reaching the arm all the way up. Long stretch here. That's going to create this stretch through the side of my body. All right? Here, otherwise, you can have your feet in the front. Another option, you can just take that leg out in front of you. So I'm keeping my hips stacked. There's nothing going on here with my knees. And I'm taking that nice long stretch. Good. Now, if you can, you'll rotate and reach your hand forward. Fold over. Get more of a stretch through your back here. If not, just keep that arm up here. Keep reaching, lengthening away from you. Nice and long. All right, great. Go ahead and come all the way up. We're going to do a lunge stretch here. So we're going to come on your knees. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and take one leg forward like that. Good. So we're going to press your hip forward. Now I'm going to have Addison do it. So if you look at here at her for a second, she actually is very open. So what I want her to do is square off the hip and then tuck her pelvis under. Good. Now, this position where she is great because she's lifting her chest up here and she's stretching this hip flexor. So not the bent leg, the straight leg is the one that you're stretching. Good, like that. So she's tucking under, squeezing her butt, and then lifting her chest back. What happens with the hip flexor? We're trying to stretch this area, all right? So the front of the body. If you lean forward like this, you can see the angle is shorter, so I'm not stretching as much. So I want you to put your hands just like she has them on her quad and really think of pushing your chest up as you take that hip forward. So my weight is in the standing leg. She's doing a great job. So her knee is right over her ankle. Her hips are square. She's tucked under. She's lifting her chest. And then the weight is here also in her foot. Okay? So try not to put so much weight in the knee. And then you got to tighten this. This will help stabilize. All right, good. Let's go ahead and change legs. Good. So she's going to, perfect, she made that adjustment. Tucking her hip under, pushing her hip forward, getting her chest up, keeping her hips nice and square. Good. And she should really feel a nice lengthening here. Good. So you don't have to be super far out with your legs, just wherever you're going to feel that stretch. Tucking it under and pushing your hip forward and square. So the more, if she opens here, like this, okay, that's kind of cheating. So you want to stay almost like think forward to the opposite side, right? So you're really getting that hip forward and lifting up here to open this front of the body. Good. Perfect, keeping your shoulders down. Excellent. Okay, we're going to come all the way up to standing. So let me adjust this a little bit. Okay, good. All right, we can see Addison. Okay, so you're going to stand, and you're going to do a quad stretch here. So I want you to go ahead and grab your foot like that. Now, remember how we said you're going to, in the last stretch, you want to tuck your pelvis under? It's the same thing. So try not to bend like this, but tuck your pelvis under and push it forward, and then you're stretching here your quad and your hip flexor. So the same thing, you're going to stay square, tuck under, shoulders back. Good. Now, if you're like this, you want to pull it back. Good. And lift up here, and then if you need more stretch, you can pull your leg back, but don't let it go out like this. You have to keep them in. Here. Good. Keeping your chest up, shoulders down, stomach nice and tight. Good. All right, let's change legs. So we'll just turn around. Okay, so I'm bending my knee, I'm reaching back with my hand to grab it. Good. Now, you want to tuck that tailbone, push your pelvis forward, and then pull back. Good. Taking this nice stretch through the front of the body, lengthening the front of your leg. Good. Almost think like push with your pelvis as much as you can, pushing it forward. And then my arm, the leg is pulling me down, my shoulder down. Good. Really think of lengthening, standing up tall, get your shoulders back, your chest up. Good, stomach nice and tight here. All right, and then the last part, we're gonna go ahead and put your hands back either on your countertop or on your chair, something that's grounded. And then you're going to bring your feet back a little bit and then just lean forward. So right now, I'm stretching my chest this way. You can also do this like in the doorway. You can press your hands against the frame of the door and lean into it with the door open, obviously. All right, So I'm opening up my chest, lifting up, getting this stretch in my shoulders. This will also give you a little stretch because you're leaning your hips forward like that. That's going to give you a little stretch in your hip flexor as well. Good. So just gently stretching there. Good. Take a big inhale and exhale. Try to bring your hands closer together if you can. So here, so if you can, bring those hands in closer. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Open up your chest. One more big inhale. And exhale. Good. And then you guys are all finished. Let me know if you have any questions. Great job. Keep stretching. All right. Have a great day. Bye.